Danny Dingledumper, born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, he didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school. He fought hard to get into the starting lineup as an undersized guy, and nothing came easy. He had to work hard, often being the last guy leaving practice, and maybe that's why his grades weren't always the best. Couple that with a late start in football, and maybe that's why he did not have a lot of offers coming out of high school. But where he did have an offer was Wyoming. So out west, Danny went. Quickly, Danny became known as the scrappy wide receiver that fought for every inch of the field. And while his career at Wyoming ended with 0 conference titles, he did end up an All-American selection his senior year. Now, after Wyoming, he did not get drafted into the NFL, but he did end up on the practice squad of the Buffalo Bills. A couple of seasons passed by with no movement for Danny until he received a phone call. That phone call was Wyoming. They were offering him the offensive coordinator position at the school. Out to Wyoming he went again. This is the story of Coach Danny Dingledumper.
Look, that first season as an OC was rough. It was a learning experience. We were thrown into the fire right away with the number 16 Hurricanes. I told my wife, make sure you have 2 things ready. A barf bucket if we lose, and another if we win.
And no one expected this Wyoming team to compete with the Hurricanes. It didn't help that the game was in the rain, too. But Wyoming jumped on Miami early in this game to get out to a 7-0 lead. And things looked great as Andrew Peasley hit Alex Brown on a 30-yard dart before the half. Titus Swen cashed it in, and as these teams headed to the break, lowly Wyoming was up 14-3 on the mighty Hurricanes.
I could not believe the momentum we had. Peasley looked better than he had ever looked in practice. I pinched myself, and Coach, when we walked in the locker room, pinched him too.
The second half began with the Hurricanes scoring quickly, putting pressure back on Wyoming to keep the intensity up. The defense did just that and gave the offense the ball back off of a turnover inside the Miami 10 late in the third. Peasley struck gold again, hitting Wyatt Wieland in the corner of the end zone.
Look, when we went up 21-10 to capitalize on that turnover, I ran over to Peasley and I said, look, man, you ain't done. Bury them. Bury them.
Peasley didn't do that. But the defense held firm. Wyoming had done it. A week 1 upset of a 16th ranked Hurricane squad a lot of people were high on. Peasley ended up taking home player of the game honors.
I was just happy, man. Happy for our guys. Happy for the fans. Wasn't ready for the rest of that season, though. Was not ready.
Things got rough for the Cowboys the next week as Peasley took sack after sack and threw 3 interceptions. Wyoming would lose to an FCS school. Dingledumper's play calling was questioned after the game.
Well, it was on me. I didn't put those kids in a position to succeed that week. No excuses. But I had to pee almost that whole game, and I rushed my calls. I rushed them.
Why didn't you go to the bathroom?
No, that's bad luck. You don't pee, man. You hold it. You gotta hold it.
The 3-0 Air Force team was waiting for them next. Dingledumper's offense started hot as Peasley connected with Wieland for 6. The team was responding to the terrible loss the prior week with determination.
I wasn't gonna let us get embarrassed again, We were there to bring the smoke. All of it.
Wyoming and Air Force traded blows the entire game, kicking field goal after field goal and heading to the 4th, tied up at 13. This was the time for Dingledumper's offense to strike. Peasley would convert a clutch 4th down, and then a few plays later on 3rd and inches, Peasley would connect with Welch on a gutsy call from Dingledumper.
I knew they were bringing the house, so we threw it through the window.
That touchdown was enough, as once again, the defense did its part, and Wyoming took down 3-0 Air Force 23-13. Peasley was awarded player of the game, and Dingledumper was widely credited by the media for his creative play calling to right the ship. The question now was, could they rattle off 2 straight, with 2-1 Texas State looming next week? They'd fall behind in this game 24-13, but get back within 5 after scoring on 4th down with 2.5 to play. Texas State ran out the clock, and once again, Wyoming would follow a win with a loss as they headed into a bye week to rest up.
Yep. That one hurt. It was too little, too late. Defense just couldn't bail us out of that one.
A 1-4 New Mexico team was waiting for them in Week 7. Now, back at home, Dingledumper was hoping to see a fresh team take it to the Lobos. But that didn't happen.
Man, we were as flat as the footballs Tom Brady likes. I felt like our team was lost after that game.
Wyoming lost badly, 23-10, and fell to 2-3. They were never in the game. An 0-5 Colorado State team was hoping this reeling Wyoming team would be their first win the next week. Wyoming would not lie down quietly. All facets of the game turned it on as the Cowboys picked up a safety, a field goal, and 2 touchdown passes from Peasley. 1 to Alex Brown and 1 to Grant on a slant, all in the first half. Up 25-0 in the fourth, Wyoming coasted to victory to even up their record at 3-3. Bowl eligible was starting to become something the team was eyeing.
Listen, we kicked 3 field goals in the second half of that game. 0 touchdowns. I knew if we were going to win the next week or the week after, we needed touchdowns.
And Coach was right. Wyoming had a 6-0 number 18 San Jose State and a 6-0 number 4 Oregon up next. Both away games. Join me for part 2 of Danny Dingledumper's story, coming soon.
That fourth quarter.